my God, Becky.
Can Miss Becky please raise her hand, bro?
You better call Becky with the good hair.
Yo, what's good? It's your girl Becky. Yes, I do have good hair, also known as Becky the Poet. Welcome to my podcast, Unspoken Words. So by the time you hear this, I'll have a week left of my self-care. So what I plan on doing is after I record this episode today, I plan on taking 2 weeks off to just relax and just focus on me. I realized that I have a lot of issues that I gotta deal with and handle and find ways to relax and be uncomfortable doing it but comfortable doing it. Does that make sense? No? Okay, cool. We'll figure it out together. I got wisdom teeth taken out this week and it wasn't as bad, but the only part is just hearing that when they pull my teeth out and cracking, it's just a mess. But I'm still not eating solids as much because I keep getting food stuck in the hole and it's not too great. But you guys, by the time you guys hear this, I'll be back at it like a crack at it. So for today, we have a special guest.
Yo, what's up, everyone? My name is LeSeven. I am the founder of the Seven Agency, a development and management agency based out of Dallas, I guess, now since I moved here from DC. So, yeah, that's me.
Whoop, whoop. So everybody's going to ask, who are you exactly? What do you do besides, like, what is Seven Agency?
Okay. The Seven Agency is a management development agency. Besides just managing artists, I do teach artist development. I teach brand development basically for those who are entrepreneurs who have a business or any career endeavors they look to embark on. My agency helps to develop that and establish that in the field of profession they're in.
So are you like the CEO?
Yes.
So are you the man of many places?
Yes, I have to be sometimes. I mean, it's more than just the CEO. It's the manager sometimes, the road manager. I play many different roles and hold many different hats in that arena.
So, you guys, before I had asked Davion to get on the show, I had an episode before his with KG, and I was telling KG how I had a list of people, and I had to weave out certain people who I wanted on the show, who I had to put on season 4, et cetera, et cetera. And then as I left this place that day after recording, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do it because there's something about me with like friends who are really, really close that I don't like to ask to be on the show because it's just something about like I need to know what we talking about because we can't just be rambling, right?
Right.
And so when I called him, this is what Davion's response, LeSeven's response was. He was like, I don't have a story. Well, I was breaking it down what season 3 was about. He's like, I don't have a story. Yeah. Now I told you, and I even sent a long text to KG. I was like, man, I don't know how to react to this. LeSeven sent me this text, and I wasn't expecting it. And I was like, I expected it, but I knew how he is. Yeah. So what is it about, like even with your close friends, like you still don't give anybody like favors or whatever. You still treat them like the same way you would treat anybody else. How do you do that in this world?
I don't want to say I don't give them favors. I believe I give too many favors.
Okay, true.
Whether I want to do it or not, I end up doing it anyway.
Right.
Sometimes that can overexert myself because I don't know how to say no.
True.
So that's a problem, but I'm working on that. I heard you are doing self-care, so am I.
Right.
So it's a learning process with me, but it's just keeping things separate, knowing when to do something for a friend that's genuine and versus when to do something because you're being used.
Right.
So it's just a difference.
So in your world, and I follow your world a lot, and in your world, everybody's like, yo, Seven, where you at? Seven, I need you here in this city. Seven, you got to come to this conference. Seven, can you come over here? How do you manage like to be in all these places at once without overexerting yourself? Well, you probably do. So.
Yeah, I overexert myself. I don't know how yet without overexerting myself, but I don't really get sleep. But I one thing I will say is that you just have to manage. I feel like for me to manage other people's lives, I have to manage mine first. So I mean, it's just checking emails. I'm always on my phone doing something, but I don't sleep. So that's the good thing. I just work. That's it. That's all I know how to do is work.
Oh my gosh. So in this day and age, how do you what's that word?
Compartmentalize.
Yeah, all that information for each individual client you have in each event.
Patience. You gotta have patience, but how do I do it? a lot of data entry, I guess you could say, a lot of boring stuff, a lot of computer stuff. I have different like folders, files, Excel sheets that I have to map out. It just depends on what the client is, and also I like delegate some things too. Like I just hired on 2 new people to work with the 7 agency to help me kind of like get a balance of my clients, because right now I'm at 27, so I'm trying.
27 clients?
Yes.
Oh wow.
So yeah, and that's not including like people who I just teach artist development to. These are people who I manage, not my development clients.
So I know in like the managing world, you know, it always starts with you helping somebody first, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
And then you just kind of build a skill on it after constantly doing it. So what I'm also hearing is that being a manager isn't for everybody. Even though I'll tell you this, sometimes I'll put a title on myself, be like, I'm so-and-so's manager just for these 2 people, just because they not gonna put themselves out there. So I'm like, all right, yo, I'm so-and-so's manager. This is so-and-so's a business. This is what they do. Hit them up, blah, 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 you know? But like when...
Like PR almost. Like networking for them. Okay.
So how do you know how people call themselves managers, but they're really not managers? How do you distinguish that from like phonies and real?
Management should be results. So I should look at your work. I should be able to know you for your work. And if you are saying you're someone's manager and you don't have anything to show for, I'm not saying you got to have this great business or amazing website, but if you don't have proof in your work of what you're doing, then it's gonna show. And then when I start talking to you, me personally, and start asking questions, I can kind of get a feel for your terminology, your business habits, your responses to certain questions. I'll be able to know. How I separate myself from that is just really isolating myself from others that do the same thing as me and just focusing on my business and my brand. Because sometimes when you are too teamed up with people that do similar things, you can start to compare yourself and start to take or mimic habits that they do, and now it's like you're duplicating something versus creating your own structure, your own blueprint, your own identity.
How do you feel about people, let's say you do artist development, right? What if someone just goes to your class just to learn how you do it to create their own classes? How do you feel about that? It's kind of like stealing, kind of, in a way.
Well, I actually have someone in there that's doing that now, and I guess it's kind of like more of a mentor thing. I look at it like I would never know if they're in there for the right reasons.
Right.
As far as I guess being a teacher of artist development, but I'll just do the best I can, and if I am doing a good job and they're looking to duplicate what I'm doing, that means I'm doing something right, obviously. But it can only be one me, so you would never master what I have.
Right.
You can only duplicate it, and you won't be able to perform it to the best of your abilities. So
you don't ever worry about someone being just like you. You don't even have that thought, like, because you know that you're great and you're better, but you don't ever have that thought, right?
I'm still learning. I wouldn't say I'm great and I'm better. I'm still learning, but I don't see no competition at this point. I'm in my own lane, and I think this self-care journey has helped me realize that I move at my own pace. I don't move as society thoughts. I don't move at what I see Instagram doing. I don't move at what I see my peers doing. So that's just how I operate.
So I know last episode I was like, man, what is self-care? And I really want to know from you, what is self-care to you besides the whole Netflix and chill thing? Like, what is that's what I thought it was. I was like, you gonna eat whatever you want, chill, Netflix, relax, not answer anything. But then like when I see you going through your self-care journey, and there's certain things that we talk about, and I understand certain things like sometimes you're not gonna reply back, which is fine, and I realize that. But I want to know, like, what is your point of view of self-care?
It's discovering the essence of who you are. Some people say, oh, I know who I am, but do you know the essence of you? It's cutting the world off and just realizing who I am. So my self-care journey is basically I wake up, I go on a long walk to myself. I talk to myself. I think things through for the day, and it brings new revelation to me as well. But my self-care journey is just like discovering new passions and tapping into a side of me that I haven't seen in a long time, or I haven't even discovered in my whole life. So it's about getting to know me at a new age. I feel like when you say you know who you are as a person, you know who you are at that moment, at that age, at that time. Wisdom comes constantly. Like, it comes through learning. It comes through a journey. And as you go through that journey, you gain wisdom sometimes, but you still need to always gain the new level of intelligence, new level of your intellect. Your intellect grows. But if you're not discovering that new intellect, you won't ever know you have it, you know?
And I know your faith in God is very strong. Like, you have a very strong belief. And for example, I struggle with that. Didn't grow up with it. I have friends who talk about it and have their parents tell me what, prayers and read me scripture and stuff, but I still don't understand that.
Okay.
And that, like, I don't understand how God works sometimes. Sometimes when I pray, I do pray to God, I'm not gonna lie. And I just don't understand. I don't understand putting like so much faith into something. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, one good movie that I watched recently was the Queen Latifah movie. How she thought she was gonna die. She had cancer.
Yeah.
And so she's always like, "Man, why are you doing this to me?" And I thought, like, I've learned that I've grown to do that too within my life. Like, okay, you know what? I know you just tested me. There's gonna be something better. But like, how without pushing so much faith into somebody, how do you tell somebody to like take care of yourself and like not by just like Netflix and chill, but like actually understanding who you are?
I would say finding new hobbies, discovering new habits. I say the best way you can find out who you are is to break the habits you have and gain new ones. Tapping into something that you're uncomfortable with. Do something you're uncomfortable, and then that will discover who you really are as a person. That will discover how you respond to things, how you react to things, how you are affected by things that you're uncomfortable with. Right. So I would definitely say just doing something uncomfortable would definitely help you out.
So what's your level of being uncomfortable? How far would you go?
This is going to sound so crazy.
Say it.
So uncomfortable, just... I don't want to say that. Okay.
Well, find something better.
Yeah, I'm gonna say something else. I don't want to say that because I am a life coach that'll go against that. I don't know. Ask the question again. Maybe I come up with something else.
Okay, we'll talk about it later then if I remember. So you and I are friends, close friends, and you always say I'm genuine. You are. Right, and people. I'm pretty sure they don't understand what that means sometimes because they don't get the same thing that I get, like what I give you. And so if you were to explain genuinity to somebody else, not me, don't explain who I am, but explain what is it to be genuine.
To be genuine means to be hot.
Okay, now you gotta go in more details.
To be genuine means to be hot. Humble, open, and transparent.
Oh, okay. I forgot you're a man of acronyms. I forgot.
So, yeah, it means to be hot, humble, open, and transparent. So you told me not to describe you, but someone who is humble in where they are in life, that has accomplished a lot, but still understands that I have so much left in me to pour out. Someone who's open to just let them know what's real. It's been times where I've had talks with you, and you'll tell me just open and honest things, and I always think back when I'm off the phone with you, like, wow, a regular person wouldn't have told me that. Right. A regular person wouldn't have told me they were struggling with this, they were dealing with this. They would have just gave me a fake side of them, or, you know what I'm saying, created this facade like everything was okay, or created a facade as if they were higher than what they really were, you know? And then to be transparent. This is what it is. This is what you get. This is what you see.
So coming out here, you said from D.C.?
I moved here from D.C.
D.C., not Michigan?
No, not Michigan. I'm originally from St. Louis, south side of St. Louis.
Okay, so from D.C., coming to Dallas, not knowing anybody really. How many genuine people have you met being out here
in Dallas?
Yeah.
Why would you ask that question? I've probably met a handful. A handful. Right. Hand is 5. Handful.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it just because you have high standards for people, or is it just because some people don't click with you?
Well, no, it's not that I have high standards, but this is so crazy. I just talked to one of my clients about this. He was telling me, like, when you first moved out to Dallas, you was all about the Dallas millennials and bringing everybody together. And then he said, now it's kind of like you just do your own thing. And I just feel like you're going to get me in trouble, Becky. Okay, so basically, it's not that they don't click well with me. It's not that I have higher standards or I hold them to a higher standard. It's just I'm about people that are genuine, high, open, and transparent. And if you're not that, and if it's always something that's staged, or if it's always something for show, or when you move with the numbers, I never like that. I don't operate off numbers. I operate off honesty and being real with people, you know. So when you move because the crowd is moving, I never move with the crowd, you know. I never been a crowd participant. So when I seen, okay, I wanted to come out here and create a relationship with Dallas millennials, and I still think I'm doing that to some degree.
Right.
But the ones who I guess I thought I could create something with, we're just not on the same level because I operate off integrity. And if I see your integrity is being tested and you fail, I can't operate like that. It just won't happen for me.
You know, it's funny, you guys, because I met Davion the end of 2017 when he did his DNA conference. And it was funny because how we met was when his agency reached out to me with like, you're a poet. I think they had a poet on the panelist, Bree. And they were like, hey, we have a ticket for you if you want to come out to this event. Went out to the event. I told you this before. I didn't even talk to you at your event. I went by myself, so me talking to people at the end of the event was still uncomfortable for me. Even the only person I knew was Cameron. I ran to KG at that event, and that's the second time I met him. Said hi, walked off. But I met you at the Cosign Awards. And it was kind of funny how this happened, because at first I was volunteer, and I was going through the name list, and I was like, oh, you're Mr. LeSeven. And you're like, girl, this girl knows my full name.
Yeah, I was like, what?
That's what he's at. I was like, no, I saw you at the DNA conference. And he's like, oh, okay, cool. And when I've never met somebody who is standoffish, but like kind of that vibe of like, I'm going to go talk to this person, because he was at the door. He just walked in. He was ready to leave after he walked in because he just had a long day. We talked and talked. I think we took our first picture there.
Our first picture, yep. I was coming off the plane straight to the award show.
Yes, and you looked tired. And we were just talking. And then after that, it was kind of funny because you reached out to me again a couple of weeks later. Was like, hey, will you model for my friend? And I was like, I don't know if he knows who he's talking to. At the time, I was telling my best friend, I was like, Akira, this guy just asked me to model for him. And so I was looking for the brand on the internet. Well, as you know, Grant didn't drop this brand yet.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I don't even know what I'm modeling. It's going to be some high fashion stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. Get to the event. Get my makeup done. Get my hair done, because I was like, I got to be prepared for anything. And found out it was a t-shirt event. And I was, not t-shirt, but like he was launching his like...
like urban apparel. Yeah.
And so... And I did pretty good.
You had the best pictures.
Oh, thank you. Okay. No, but you know how you meet people, right? And you meet people who you like, okay, I can work with them. And you also meet people who like, yes, we're going to be friends. How do you pick and choose who are going to be your friends, or who you can work with, or who can do both?
I think that's why when people first meet me, they always say I'm standoffish.
Right.
I'm standoffish because I pour into so many people. So when I first walk in the room or anything like that, I'm just observing everything. I'm observing everything. I'm discerning who's in the room. I'm discerning people vibes, people energies, because I know once I do connect with somebody, I'm going to connect. So I'd rather stand off and just watch everybody and watch the movements, actions, behavior, things like that, personalities. Because I do have a big personality once people do get to know me.
Right. Yes,
so
do.
I don't want to I don't want to just jump out there too soon. So yeah, that's what it is. For the most part, I guess switching gears, noticing the difference in how they respond to a situation that they're in. So with you at the photo shoot, how you handled the situation, because you know it was some chaos behind the scenes.
Right, of course, always.
You still handled it, and it showed me your true character. And I judge people off character, not off their actions. So that's one thing that's really, really big to me, like judging people off their character. So that's how I know, okay, next time I have something else, I can use her again. Right. Because now she showed me, or she exemplified that she can really be a friend now, you know? Right. So that's how I really identify. Because
I still struggle with that in this, like meeting people. I'm really friendly.
You are.
And you already know this. And sometimes I meet people and I'm like, yeah, so-and-so, let's work. And I start working, I'm like, hey, I don't even know why I even walked into this. Because like I saw it coming, but I wanted to test the waters first, right? And I have this problem of testing the water too much. Of like, let me see how this feels out. And then when I get into the situation, I'm like, dang, I don't even know why.
Does it create bad energy when y'all see each other again for the second time or third time?
I think I handle those situations very well, though. I think because I come off as always being straightforward.
True. Yeah, I see
that.
that.
Sometimes, like, when I say something rude, it's just like, oh, that's kind of just Becky. But also, like, I don't want to always be given that title, like, Becky's just rude.
Yeah.
You know?
That's how she is, yeah.
Because even, like, talking to some friends, I'll say something off the wall, and I think it's okay because they're my friends. But even sometimes, like, I can hurt my friend's feeling, you know? And they'll be like, just because you say this, just because people say you straightforward, don't mean, like, it's always okay to say that. And so even now, I have to learn to be careful with being too friendly, being rude without even thinking, because sometimes things I say, I'm like, oops.
And that's why I'm so standoffish, because my voice is heavy, not in the sense of like deep or anything, but I'm saying, like, my voice is heavy. Like, when I speak, I'm gonna say what I have to say. I'm very headstrong, so that's why I just look at it like, okay, I need to be standoffish, because when I get ready to open up, this is how I'm coming.
So I've been to 2 your artist development. One was just like for the public, and another one is actually personal. And I know, being a manager, a life coach, all this stuff, when you're teaching this class, you have clients who are your friends, right? Not friends. They kind of like they have the playful relationship.
They do have a playful relationship, and I'm in the process of correcting that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how do you deal with that? Because if I was you, I told you this before. If I was you, I would have been, get out. Are you not serious? Okay, I'm walking out too, because you wasted my time.
Yeah, that's exactly how I'm starting to feel now. I think that those clients who do play around, they are playing with their careers, but I think by me knowing their story and knowing the background of who they are as a person and knowing what they've been through, I think that's why I tolerate it a little bit more, because it's like, okay, you have to learn this.
But where does this patience come from?
From being a life coach. From being a life coach, being patient with someone when they first sit down to talk to me, who don't want to open up at all. They don't want to open up. They're scared. They never did this before. They don't believe counseling is for them. They don't think that they need any help at all. So I have to be patient with them and work through that, and have to get them to be comfortable with me first. So I have to make you comfortable, then I have to correct you.
Right.
So, yeah.
Do you ever really, like, the correcting part is the hardest thing? Because
it's not hard for me.
Okay, well, it'll be hard
it's fun for me to correct. It's not fun, but it's relaxing for me to correct someone. Let me say that. It's relaxing. I don't know if that's the right term, but it's relaxing because when I help them, I'm helping myself as well, you know?
Yeah.
Because people think that life coaches have it all together. No, we don't. But it's helping me realize something in myself. Even though we might have a different issue that I'm sitting here walking you through, it's helping me in some way, or it's giving me a revelation for something else that I'm working on in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
I know, being a life coach, but you're not a therapist, right? And people tell you things in life, whether it's your clients or even friends, whatever. You have to hold that
confidentiality.
Yes, you have to hold that. And I know being a therapist is separate too, where, like, not speaking of you, but like therapists, they have a lot to hold. And I talked to one therapist, and they were telling me how they're not too involved with their client's life. So I remember you and I were talking, and sometimes how you talk to these people who are life coach and people who are thinking things off the wall, from down 6 feet under to whatever, left field, right field, you know?
Right.
How do you keep sane through all that, hearing all that from all 26 clients we heard sometimes?
My development clients?
Or
my
just
life coach?
your life coach clients?
How do I not take that home with me? You're saying? Well, I take it home with me all the time, but that's where the ministry side comes in at. That's where the spiritual side of me comes in at. Like, I want to make sure that, okay, I'm bringing this home, but I don't want it to enter in my home. Right. So I need to pray this off. I need to fast. I need to do whatever I need to do to make sure I'm doing the right thing to keep this separate. Because, as you know, we do have confidentiality. So not only can I not really have that personal relationship with clients, but I also need to make sure that if it goes too far, I am seeking a therapist, a psychiatrist, all the legal,
for yourself or for them,
or legal enforcement, like the law enforcement for them. If something gets a little too crazy, I can't be that connected to them in the office, and that's it.
Dang. And so, do you take this to your agency?
it's been times where I was teaching artist development. I didn't want to be there because I was still thinking about where I just came from. So it's affected me in my business, but it hasn't hindered me. Because if it's just too much for me, I'll get someone to fill in for me or something like that.
So I know you're doing your self-care right now. And I know a lot of people are wondering, first, where have you been or what you have been doing? And if you can summarize this into one sentence to explain where you've been, what you've been doing, what would you say?
I have been in my sacred place creating. That's
good,
where I've been.
That's good. Because I know when people think of self-care, especially of like taking care of myself in particular, I'm still like on social media, and like in my situation, like social media does like sometimes affect the situation. Like, oh, I'm not growing as fast, or these people like this and this and this, like, you know. And so even when I'm supposed to be doing self-care, I'm still like on there. And I know it. I'm like, I grew up in the freaking stage of technology, you know. What do you tell like people my age?
Let me ask you this.
Ready for it.
When you're doing social media, does that help you? As far as, does that relax your nerves? Does that decrease your anxiety? Does that relieve your depression? What does that do for you? Constantly scrolling.
Probably increases it.
It increases it. So why do you do something that still increases something that you're trying to break or shake?
That comes with stubbornness.
So stubbornness is gonna hinder your life.
True.
It's gonna hinder your lifestyle.
True.
How can you ever grow?
That is so true. You know, that's a deep question, you guys.
Do you already have the vision for the next season of Unspoken Words? You know what you want to do with it?
No. That's why that 2 weeks break is gonna happen.
So the social media is stopping you from creating. It's stopping you from.
Yeah, so it's hindering.
And anything that doesn't help you hinders you. So
True. That is so true. Because I feel like even today I posted on Instagram like, I need your help for season 4, right? And you know, and we haven't been on Instagram in a while, but interaction on Instagram is like, depends on who you are. They interact with what they want to interact with you, you know? And there are people who just read it and just be like, nah, I ain't gonna answer that question.
Right.
Even though Instagram has put that option on there, you know? And it's got to the point where, why ask people's opinion who never give you the answer in the first place?
True. And then another thing is, I wouldn't just create something. I tell my artists this all the time, music artists, who put out music, they just put out music and post it on their timeline, or you're making music cater to a timeline versus making music cater to the world. So people be like, oh, I'm not on Twitter. Why aren't you? Because you're missing the whole audience right there on Twitter. Right. You're missing audience on TikTok. You're missing audience, on what's the other one? Sham something. Like all these music app Musically. Like you're missing audience on all these other social networks because you're creating music based off your timeline, based off what you see. You're creating music based off the people that follow you versus because you care what they like. You care what they want to hear. And I'm like, you should be creating music for the world. There's someone out there who wants to hear this, but you're not tapping into that, and you're focusing on the DFW area, the Arlington area, wherever you're from, and you're making sure you're good locally, and that's no way to create. So for you, Becky, like you're asking people on your timeline what they want to expect, when what percentage of people are tuning into Unspoken Words from your timeline?
True.
Who's really engaging from your timeline? So just think about that. But that's why I'm not on social media. But as of 2019, I'm coming back. But I'm coming back with purpose. Yes. Okay. I have to come back because I'm launching 2 businesses, so I have to come back just for that reason. Just for that. That's it. Like it's a business. It's not nothing personal. It's not nothing for fun. If we're friends on social media, we're not friends in real life.
True. Yeah, some of my close friends don't even like my photos. I'm just kidding.
So that's what it is.
So I have this one issue, and it kind of relates to your business too. So people walk up to you, and for example, I recently had a lot of rap artists who hit my DMs and was like, "Hey, I want to be on your show."
Okay.
And it's because I did my first episode this season with Torin, music artist, rapper, and I did my third episode with Official Maximilian, right? 2 rap artists, right?
Okay, I have to hear their music.
And my show with Torin wasn't an interview. We did talk about specific things about being a music artist, what happened, and I would say like I had Official Maximilian jump into the season to fill a spot, right? Little Line was a great show, right? But we weren't close friends, me and Max, right? So that show was different. It was an interview. As for you and I, we were having conversations, right?
Yeah.
So it was an interview, I would say that. And so now I have these people who are jumping into my DMs who want to be on the show, right? And the first thing I ask is, first thing I tell them is like, my show is about telling people stories, right? Blah, blah, blah. But I need to word that differently now because I've learned that people are like, I have a story. I put it all in my music, right? That's fine. Like, no disrespect to your art, right? You put your story in your music, it's fine, right?
You put yours into a podcast.
Yeah. So I never wanted my podcast yet to be all just like rap artists, right? Because let alone like, then it'll turn to something totally different. And kid you not, like there's other podcasts in DFW who will take them. Not take them, but like allow them to be on their show to showcase their work and stuff.
Right.
And how do you turn away people who don't fit with what you're doing right now?
That's an easy question, but let me just go back. Maybe you should start doing that though. Maybe like you should have like another show, like an Unspoken Words, where they can highlight their story through music. Like,
season 4 is still in the process. So,
yeah, but it's not maybe not a podcast, but like maybe they come to like the dark room with just a microphone and they just pour their heart out through music, and that's telling their story. Just something to think about. I would just say no. I would just say no. Period. I have a hard time with saying no. But when it comes to music, since that's my background and that's how I started the agency, I tell people all the time, I'm not listening to your music, because that will spark something in them, because then they want to know why. You know a group called Dopetry?
Yes.
I told them no. The first time I've ever met them, I told them no, and now I can't get rid of them guys. Like they hit me up every day. They FaceTime me, blow my phone up when I'm out of town. They call me no matter what. We on 2 different time zones, and they work my nerve. But
they don't live here in Dallas?
Yeah, they do. But when I'm out of town, they call me. And we're on 2 different time zones when I'm away. But I mean, they work my nerve. But I love those guys. But I told them no, I won't listen to their music, and they were consistent. And so just say no, because then that'll show you who was just wanting to be on your show for a split second, or for their social media.
I can't just say like N-O. Do you just say N-O?
But you just said Becky is straightforward.
Yeah, but I
just be like, no, not right now. We're already booked for this season.
That's what I be saying. Yeah.
So you already know how to get rid of them. I just needed to know for sure. Yeah, I just need confirmation. Yeah, but now that they hear this, they're gonna be like, "Oh, you're just saying that now. You're not really booked for the whole season."
I am kind of. No, I'm not. I'm not going to even lie.
Exactly.
I'm not even booked for season 4. Season 3, I am booked. Yes, that's already scheduled.
But you already know your theme for season 4 because you're on social media.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Man, so I want to get real deep, real dig.
Okay, let's dig.
How do you deal with people who? How do you deal with me when it comes down to thinking about dark thoughts?
How do I deal with you?
Yeah. Have I ever talked about these thoughts with you?
No, so this is gonna be interesting.
Okay, cool.
I've dealt with people before that had dark thoughts.
So, as a close friend, right? We think about I think about suicide randomly, right? I'm about to cry. But
why? Be honest.
Okay.
Hot. Be hot.
You're a life coach.
Yeah.
Right? I never want to reach out to you because it's your job. So us being close friends, or anybody who has a close friend who's a therapist, life coach, whatever, how should they approach without feeling like I need a session? Does that make sense?
Being honest and just saying, hey, I need help. I think that if you do have a friend that's a therapist, a life coach, a psychiatrist, whatever it is, that's the best person to go to, because one, they're going to give you sincere counsel, versus sometimes being a life coach or a counselor, those people that just come in and just don't want help, that they're just there to check off a box and say, hey, I did counseling.
True.
You just sit through it, and you just tell them, and you keep it very bland. Your heart's not in it. If someone really cares for you and they are a close friend, their heart will be in it. They will help you. I don't think that they will look at you any differently, because you are close friends, and you're gonna know things about them, so
Because I only ask because
it would be harder for the person receiving it versus the counselor or the life coach, because the person receiving it sometimes may say, well, I know you and you like this, so how can you give me advice?
Right.
So it for the counselor or the life coach, it won't be as hard, because it's their job, but then now it's their job with someone who they're sincere about.
Yep. Because I only say that because, people always say, like, go to a therapist. I've been to quite a few in the past. And so it's hard to, like, go to when you have, like, bad experience. So my only closest, like, therapy would be, like, my close friends, right? I go to Akira, I go to my family, my cousins. But sometimes, like, you want to go to certain people because you know what they're going to say.
True.
And don't get me wrong, like, there are people who are really positive, and that's great to have in your life. Someone who's positive,
But I don't always need positive. I need the ugly truth.
And then you have, like, family who care about you, but then, like, when you give them, like, a heavy load, they worry. With anybody else, they worry a lot, right? But families that you see every day, like, they worry so much, And so, like, I feel like having friends like you, even though I don't speak of it, I do want to, like, sometimes tell you, like, man, today sucks because of 1, 2, 3, But I hold back from doing that because I'm like, man, Davion is a life coach, or he goes through artist development. He has personal issues that I know of, And I guess it's selfish of me because, like, you're able to share your personal stuff with me, and me just hold you down as for, like, I'm, like, holding back on you,
right?
So us being close friends and, like, having our own separate businesses, I feel we do have conversations where we connect.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, sometimes, like, stuff like this, like, I feel like it just not holds any of us back, but just I feel like it would be a burden to be like, oh, Becky is thinking about that, I need to check up on her, And I never ever want to, like, people to be, like, constantly checking up on me, but just being real at the moment in time, and just being like, all right, cool, bro, whenever you need me, I'm here for you, you know what I mean?
But don't you check up on people, and don't you say that? You say that to
True,
me.
constantly.
Right.
Why don't I don't want it in return? Who knows why?
Exactly. And I always tell you, like, you're the only person who does that. Like, so, especially people from Dallas area, since I've been here. So you're the only person that does that, literally the only person. So at this point, you just set the tone moving forward for me to always open up my ear to you to hear,
True. And the only reason why I get emotional right now is because, we're close friends. I would say we're really close. If anybody asks, I always bring you up in conversations. You're the person I run to whenever things hit the wall, fan, whatever. But just because you had the title of a life coach, or, I was like, man, I can't come to Damian with this because this stuff is too heavy for him because we're too close, too close to home. So I was, like, trying to take care of you, like, trying to, like, I guess, be safe on your side, but at the same time, like, it's like, you have friends for a reason.
Yeah.
And it's not all about business.
Yeah.
So
that makes sense.
It was good to get off my chest. Sorry for being a little poon. But I just want to say thank you for coming out for today's episode. I never wanted to talk about your agency. Just started off just tell people who you were. And but it's nice to know that there's genuine people out here.
Only a few.
And not everybody is as genuine as you think they are. You just have to not always test the waters out, but I feel like feeling energy, is that what you do? Like, I feel like you feel energy and vibes. That's what I hear all the time.
Discernment, that's what it's called. I just discern.
What does that mean?
Discern, I discern, you know what discern means. I discern who people are. I discern their actions, their behavior. It's like me just kind of like learning who you are before I really get to know you.
Right.
So just from your energy at the cosign awards, or just from your energy at the conference, I could discern, okay, she got good vibes, she's a positive person, she's on the come up, you know, those type of things. Learning someone before you really learn someone.
So if you could give any advice to anybody who's listening, not advice about being a manager, not advice about being a life coach, just advice in general right now for what you're going through in life with self-care and just taking care of yourself, what would you tell them?
Love yourself. Like, love yourself. I haven't been on social media, but I can just tell you, just from life, just from meeting people day by day, face to face, a lot of people don't love themselves. You don't love yourself, and that's why you tolerate certain things from people. You don't love yourself, and you tolerate behavior from your spouses, or you deal with certain situations. You put yourself in certain places where you don't belong. Loving yourself. If you love yourself, that will go a long way. So I just say you have to love yourself, and that you won't ever love yourself until you know who you are. So you have to know who you are, discover yourself. I think the whole world needs a self-care vacation.
Well, one question before you leave. Can you put yourself on hold while helping other people? In other words, can you put loving yourself on hold while trying to help other people? Is that such a thing?
Yeah, I'm actually I've been doing it all this year, and it's hurted me so bad. Like, it hurt me really bad. I mean, when you put yourself on hold for others, you're just blocking yourself. You're clogging up everything. You're clogging up your dreams, your destiny.
Akira calls it blocking your blessings.
Yeah, you're blocking your blessings, but it's really like when you do get ready to start back on you, you're so clogged up. Blessings can't even get through now.
True.
You have blocked the gate now. Like, you're just out of it. So that's just what it is. Love yourself, know who you are, and just discover your true passion, not the passion that society wants you to have. Oh, I want to be a singer. I want to have my podcast. Those are dreams. Discover your passion that's inside of you.
Oh, works for you. You guys, we're about to close out the show. We just want to make an announcement. Unspoken Showcase is officially happening February 1st. I haven't dropped the flyer yet. The poets have them. So what you need to do is find those poets, use their promo code, because this will be a sold out event. I already have a feeling, and I'm scared because I don't know if I'm going to be able to. Well, I'm going to be ready when it comes. I got 2 months to prepare, y'all. But y'all, thank you for having. Thank you for having me. It's my show. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Do you want them to follow you on social media, or how you feel about that? Okay, it's fine. Look at my +7 on Google. That's all you gotta do. I still have hoodies and crew necks for sale. New website. Shout out to Brand Fiend, BeckyThePoet.com. That's it. We lit.
Becky, we got to
Yeah, tell Becky to pick up the phone.
Oh my God. Becky.
Can Miss Becky please raise her hand, bro?
You better call Becky with the good hair.